This is the Hedgehog pincushion project, and I've been a little bit naughty because I've skipped a stage ahead. I was just a bit excited. So all I've done is put the two Hedgehog pieces face to face. So I'll just open that out so you can see, face to face, and then stitched all the way around that outer edge. Once I've done that, I've gone ahead and cut little snips all the way around, and that's because obviously this is a curve going in several directions, so that will just help it to turn the right way out properly. The next step we're going to have a look at is actually adding the base piece in. So the base piece, as you can see, is a kind of almost a pear shape, and it's got his little feet printed on there as well. So what you're going to need to do is first of all fold it in half, and then just put a little mark top and bottom, because the best way to line this up is actually to line up with the seam on the top there. So just pop it into there, pop a pin in there, and then what we're going to do is do the same at the base. So pop that in position back here and pop a pin in there as well, and then work your way around either side, lining it up as you go and making sure that that all fits nicely into there. And what you're looking to line up is not necessarily the edge of the fabric there, but you'll maybe able to see just a really faint line on here and a really faint line on here. They're the lines that you're trying to match up. So I shall go ahead and just pin all this in place. Now when you get round to the edges, you may look like you've got too much fabric, but there is actually the right amount, because remember you're sewing to this line on the inside, not the edge on the outside there. So what you need to do is just take your time and even it out and pop plenty of pins in to get that all into position. Once you've got that side all in place, you're going to repeat the same process round that other side there. Now all of those pins are in place, I can go ahead and either hand sew or machine sew. The only thing I would recommend is do it in two sections. So start from the front and go round to about an inch from that back seam, so about where this pin is here, and then tie that off, start again at the front and stitch around the other way. Because what you'll find is sometimes if you try and stitch around in a complete circle, if you have got too much fabric or you've got a problem anywhere, all you do is you push that problem all the way around. So it's much better to start at the tip of the nose there, come round and then do the same again on the other side. So I'll go ahead and do that now. You can either hand stitch or machine stitch round that edge, but I've stitched everything in place now, and now we're going to turn it right side out. So there's a little gap that we've left at the back, and that's where we're going to turn it. And if you want to, you can snip some more pieces into this edge. It's not as necessary as the top edge, because the top edge there's more of a curve it has to follow. On the bottom edge you should be all right. So I'll just flip this right side out. And then I've got a little bit of stuffing here. There he is, and we're going to just fill him with some stuffing. Because this is designed to be a pincushion, you can obviously use a soft stuffing, or you can use something a little bit more solid, like a foam or something as well. I'm going to put a little bit more in there because I've still got a little bit of a soft bit at the top, but I don't want too much because I don't want this base to round out too much. So I'm going to put a little bit more in. Now also, to stop that base rounding out, you can always put a piece of card in the base, and that will help it to keep its shape as well. Now it's time to sew up the bottom. So to sew up the bottom, we are going to use a ladder stitch. Let me just grab my needle and thread. So for a ladder stitch, we're going to just quickly pop a little knot in the end of here. And we're going to slide it to the inside of the fabric. So you can see I'm taking it through so it comes through to the front, but oh, my knot wasn't quite big enough. Let's do that again. So slightly bigger knot. Yeah, it's a much chunkier one. That should do it. And we're going to come in from the back and through to where we just finished our stitching there. And now we're going to use a ladder stitch to close this. So a ladder stitch is where you are going to take a section through the folded part on the one side, and then we're also going to do about the same amount on the other side, and just keep going back and forth to create what looks like a ladder. And then you'll get all of these little rungs going back and forth, and then when you're ready to close it up, you pull them tight and it will disappear. And you continue doing that all the way around to the other edge.